Just Crafts and Creations, and today I'm going to show you how to make a book holder. So today I'm using a piece of driftwood at approximately 21.5 inches long and about an inch and a half thick. It doesn't matter, you can choose whatever size you like. And I'm also using a 5mm macrame cotton cord from Nook Theory in the colors soft pink and eucalyptus. So the fun thing about this project is you can choose multiple different colors. You can choose one color, just have fun, enjoy, and create it based on whatever color palette that you like. So let's begin our book holder. To start the book holder, I'm going to take two cords that are 120 inches long, and I'm going to attach them to your piece of wood, tying a lark's head knot. But when you tie your lark's head knot, you do want to make sure that your center cord hangs at approximately 22 inches long, and your outside cord is around 98 inches long. So I'm just going to measure about 22. So to tie a lark's head knot, and you will want to find your center point in your stick and attach it approximately an inch or so to the left. So to attach your cord tying a lark's head knot, you're going to fold it in half. You're going to put it over your piece of wood, put your fingers through that loop, and you're just going to grab the cords through that loop, pull them through, and tighten your knot. And remember, you do want your center filler cord to hang at around 22 inches long. So take your second cord, and again, tying a lark's head knot, you're going to wrap it around your stick, make a loop with your fingers, pull those two cords through, and tighten. So here's about the halfway point of my stick. I did it just slightly to the left. So this is what it's going to look like. Remember, you want your center cords shorter at around 22 inches, and your outside working cords are going to be much longer to tie your half knot around your filler cords. Now we're going to start working on your spiral knot, which is that really pretty twist. And to create the spiral knot, you are going to repeat the half knot over and over again until you get that twist. So to tie the half knot, you're going to take your furthest right working cord. You're going to cross it over to the left over your filler cords. Your left cord is going to go over the top of that right one. You'll take that left cord and go around your filler cords and through that loop. Using the outer two cords, you're going to pull to tighten your knot. And that is a half knot. So you're going to repeat that exact same step. Take your right cord, bring it over the top of your fillers. Your left one is going to go over the top of that right cord. Bring that left cord around your fillers, through that loop, and pull the working cords to tighten it. So that is 2, and you're going to repeat the same process for approximately 65 half knots, or about 16 inches down your cord. So again, just keep repeating that same process, taking your cords, folding them over, your left one goes around, through that loop, and pull. And when you start to see it twist, you can just take your outer cords and pull it. It will be easier to see that. I have completed 65 half knots, which gave this beautiful spiral look, and it is measuring approximately 16 inches down. So about right there is about 16 inches and 65 half knots. Next, I'm going to take one of my cords at 20 inches, and I'm just going to tie a gathering knot right down here to keep this all secure. To tie a gathering knot, take your cord that's 20 inches. You're going to grab all of your cord from your half knot, leave about an inch tail at the top, take your 20-inch cord, make a little loop just like that, And then you're going to take the remaining portion and you're just going to wrap it around all of your cord. So there's your loop, and just wrap it around. 2, 3, I'm going to go about 5 times. 4, 5. And once you have wrapped it around, you're going to take your loop and your tail, and you're going to put your tail cord through that loop. Hold on to the tail and pull the top. And your knot will go inside that, and it is secure and tight. You can then take your scissors and trim up the 2 little tails. And I do like to take the tip of my scissors and just tuck in that trimmed up cord right there. Same thing for down below. So here's what we have so far. You're going to repeat this exact same thing 3 more times with your remaining cords that you are using at 120 inches. So I'm actually going to alternate colors. So I have this soft pink one, and next I'm going to use a eucalyptus next to it. So again, here's about that center spot. So I'm just going to go over about 1 inch. You'll do the same thing. You're going to attach your cord, tying a lark's head knot, keeping your center cords around 22 inches. So I'm going to attach it on. And that is what it will look like again right there. So just as you did on this soft pink one, you're going to tie 65 half knots, approximately 16 inches down. And again, you will secure it with a gathering knot. So go ahead and start tying your half knots for this one. And once we are done, we will come back to the video. So I have completed my 65 knots, or approximately 16 inches down. You want to make sure that they are pretty comparable because you want your gathering knots to be even. So I'm going to take my 20-inch cord and I am going to tie my gathering knot again. So again, you just kind of leave a tail, a loop, and wrap it around. Same amount of times, 5 times. And then go through that loop. And holding your tail, pull the top. And this is what it will look like when you have completed your second spiral knot. You are going to repeat the same process 2 more times with your remaining 120-inch cords. I am doing alternating colors, so I did go ahead and attach them. Remember to keep your fillers at 22 inches and leave approximately 2.5 to 3 inch gap in between each of your spiral knot sections. So go ahead and finish your 2 remaining sections, creating your spiral knots, approximately 16 inches down or about 65 half knots. Once you have finished these sections, we will go ahead and trim the bottoms to our likings. So go ahead and repeat your 2 more sections and we will get back to the tutorial. And this is what it looks like after you have done all 4 sections. We're now going to trim the bottom. I'm going to leave about 5 inches from the bottom of the gathering knot all the way down. So you can go ahead and take your tape measure or just trim it however short you want. 5 inches is about that in spot. So there we go. And then just kind of eyeball it each time. And you have completed your spiral knots. So now we're going to start working on the actual portion that's going to hold your books onto your piece. Now we are going to begin the book portion of your piece. So you will need 2 cords cut at 70 inches. I am going to be using 2 different color cords, this eucalyptus, and then my apologies, this color is blush. Not soft pink, but still from Nook Theory. So I'm going to be using 2 different colors. You can use the same colors. It does not matter. You will also need your beads. So for one book section, you will use 4 beads. So you'll need 20 beads total. My beads are 15 millimeters with an interior hole of approximately 5 to 6 millimeters. So you do want your interior hole to be approximately the same thickness of your cord, that way it is a snug fit. So I'm also using this easy beader tool, which makes it so easy to slide your beads onto your cord. So to begin, grab one of your cords at 70 inches. You're going to fold it evenly in half and attach it, tying a lark's head knot. But for this first cord, you do want it to be very loose and not fully closed. So you're gonna attach it like a lark's head knot would, and I'm gonna spread it open and leave a gap here and a gap here. Next, I'm going to take my second cord at 70 inches, fold it evenly in half, and I'm going to attach it between that first section. So you're gonna go right between it and go ahead and fully secure this one on. And then take that cord that is still open and just pull to tighten it behind your second lark's head knot. So you will have one that looks like this and one that looks like this. Next, you're going to take the top cord right here and you're going to tie 5 half knots on these filler cords, the cords that are behind. So same thing as you did here, you're going to tie a half knot, so go over your filler cord through that loop and pull tight. And there's one. This just really secures the cords together. 5. Now this is where you're going to grab your beads. You're going to take both cords. So I'm going to start with these center ones and you're going to slide a bead all the way up to the top. So if you don't have an easy beader, you can use a bobby pin or you can tape the very ends of your cord. That will drastically help slide the beads on, especially because you do want the beads to be snug. So with my easy beader, I just slide the cords through and it is very tight. So I just do the very tips of the cord and then you push your bead up and you really have to actually work it on because you want it snug. And you just slide your bead up. So there's one. I'm going to put another one on that same cord. I'm going to slide it up. So go ahead and attach one more bead onto the same exact section of cords. Make sure your cords are pulled tight so that way they're straight. Next, you're going to do the same thing. Grab the 2 outside cords that you had used, and you're going to place 2 beads onto that section as well. So make sure that they're straight too. So there's one. And you will be adjusting these beads. This is just so you have the beads on there. And attach your last bead. Just like that. So this is what it's going to look like right now. We are going to take our cords at 20 inches and we are going to tie more gathering knots. You're going to want the same color cord if you're using 2 to tie a gathering knot at the bottom. Same thing with this one. And we're going to make sure that they're even with this gathering knot. So you will grab one cord and I will get closer to it. You'll grab one cord, tie a gathering knot here and tie a gathering knot here. So again, we're going to take our cord at 20 inches. If you're using different colors, I like to match the colors up. And you're going to tie a gathering knot around 1 and then around 2. So you do want to get it similar to the first one. And I'm going to wrap around 5 times again. And pull to tighten your gathering knot. If it slides up, that's okay. You actually can take your fingers and adjust it and slide it down. As long as your knot is secure in there, it's not going to go anywhere. So go ahead and trim your cords. And you're going to repeat the same thing on the back side. And you can see how this one is slightly taller. So I'm just gonna pull it down a little bit and make sure that they're even. So here is what it's going to look like. These beads are adjustable, and this is what's going to help you secure your book into the piece, whether you want it to be a tall book or a shorter book. These beads are what they do. So now you're going to repeat this exact same thing 4 more times in between the rest of the spaces. And if you are using 2 colors like I did here, I do like to alternate whether or not the green is going to be in the center or on the outside. So for this one, I am going to alternate it, and I'll show you exactly what I do. You're going to fold your cord evenly in half, and you're going to do a lark's head knot, making sure that you leave it open and a larger gap. You're going to take your second color, fold it evenly in half, and this time this color is going to go in the center. You're going to tighten that one first, and then tighten your outside. So whatever cord is in the center is going to be your working cords, and that is what you are going to tie your 5 half knots to create that spiral knot for your piece. And you will repeat the exact same steps, adding your beads onto the same cords for a total of 4 beads. So go ahead and finish up 4 more times, and we'll finish the rest of the tutorial. Here's what it looks like after you have all of your beads on it, and you do have your cords much longer. So what I like to do is I'm just going to go ahead and trim these book holder cords, and I like to keep them just about the same length, maybe slightly longer than the spiral knot cords. Now this is all up to you. Like, this is yours. You can choose if you want them shorter, longer. I'm just making mine slightly longer. Now we're going to do the hanging cord portion. And so we're going to flip our work around. And instead of doing the traditional 1 hang, I'm going to do 2, tying a constrictor knot. That way we know that we have the supported weight for each of our books to hang. Now for this part, we are going to tie a constrictor knot. I do want to tie 2 of them. That way our piece is hanging from a loop like this instead of the traditional 1 cord. This will help keep the balance when the books are hanging. So I am going to tie the constrictor knot between these 2 pieces. So my cord is about 33 inches long, and I'm going to take about 10 to 12 inches or so on one side. You're going to wrap that tail in about the 10 inches around to the front. You're going to bring it to the right of this cord, the first one. Then you're going to wrap it around to the left of the cord. You'll notice it forms this X. You may have to adjust it. So while it's still on the left, you're going to then wrap it to the right, and you're going to put it through the top of the X and bring it out the bottom. So you will have to maneuver it to open that X up, put it through, and you're going to take the tail end and the top end and pull tight. So the cool thing about this knot is that when you pull the top end and the bottom end at the same time, it tightens that knot even more. So next you're going to repeat the same thing. You're going to just make a loop like this. I'm going to keep my loop about 4 inches, and then I'm going to go around to the left, or around on the left side of the cord, then to the right and around. So this time it's going to be on the right side of this cord, and there's your X. Again, you may have to maneuver it to find it. And you're going to take the tail end and go through the top of the X and the bottom and pull tight. And you can trim these up right here. So you are going to want to repeat the same thing on the other side, but you need to be very careful to make sure that it is exactly the same height from the wood to the top of your hanging cord. So I am going to just trim this up a little bit. It is super tight, it's not gonna go anywhere, and repeat it on the other side. Now for the other side, you're gonna do the exact same thing. You're gonna take that tail, you're gonna wrap it, bring it to the right of the top cord. Then you're gonna bring it to the left to make that X. Go around and up again. This time it's going to be to the left of that top cord. And there's your X again. Cross it to the right. Sometimes it's easier to let go of that one. And then use your fingers to open up that X and put your cord through that X and pull. I do have just a tutorial for this constrictor knot on my page, and I will link that in case you need a better angle to see that one. So now this is where it's really important to make sure that your hanging cord is the exact same length. So you want to measure your one on the other side so that way you're not hanging it wobbly. So I did measure mine. Mine is about 4.5 inches from the top of my hook to the top of the knot. And before I tighten it, I will also measure it again. So I'm going to go around again. And again, sometimes that X is hard to find. So before I pull this tightly, I'm going to measure it again to make sure that it is approximately still 4.5 inches. And it looks like it needs to be a little looser, so I'm going to just kind of pull it up. There we go. And tighten it. And again, you can trim those edges. And now your book holder is done, and you can hang it up. Here's what it looks like when it's hung up. So you're going to want to make sure you have one bead on the bottom of each section, so one color. And I'm just going to take a book, and you're going to slide it in through this one first, and then you'll slide it in through the next one, the one in the back. Now this is where you're going to want to make sure you can either tighten the beads or let it go all the way down there. And then it will stay just like that, or you can go ahead and tighten the top. And you can just continue doing that. So I'll use a couple different size books so you can see the difference of what they look like. And one thing I like about this is that this book can be this rack can be your TBR list. It can be your favorite series. It can just be some of your favorite books that you have that you want on display. And I just love that. So there's a larger book. Of course, I've got my macrame books. So feel free to check out my Complete Starter Guide to Macrame by Angela Beretta. This book is available for pre-order on Amazon. It does come out March 25th. So I'm going to even add that in there just to show a couple different sizes of books. And there you go. And here's what the final piece looks like. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you had fun making it, and enjoy your new book holder and have fun reading. Thank you for watching.